Wake up, Chicago! We are staring down the barrel of an offseason that will define the next decade of Bears football. I'm talking about seismic shifts that tear the very heart out of our roster. Sources are chirping, the noise is deafening, and the stakes have never been higher. We have a defensive superstar with one foot out the door, an analytical mandate that demands immediate aggression, and a devastating injury that just blew a hole in our offensive line plans. The decisions made inside Hallis Hall in the coming days won't just change the team. They will decide if we are legitimate contenders or perennial pretenders. Buckle up. We have to start with a situation that is rapidly developing into a full-blown emergency for the Chicago Bears defense. My sources are indicating that one of the absolute pillars of this defensive unit, a player who has been instrumental in our recent success, is being heavily monitored by multiple contenders in the AFC as we approach the 2026 free agency period. The chatter around the league is specific and it is loud. Executives from at least two AFC teams believe this player could be pried away from Chicago, and they are preparing packages to make a run at him the moment the legal tampering period opens. This isn't just speculation. This is credible intel suggesting that the Bears front office has not yet secured the long-term commitment necessary to keep him off the open market. And let me tell you right now, if this franchise allows a cornerstone defender to walk out the door for nothing but a compensatory pick, it will be an unmitigated disaster. You do not build a championship culture by developing elite talent only to let them cash checks in another city. It is absolutely baffled to me that we are even having this conversation. When you have a playmaker who strikes fear into opposing quarterbacks, you pay the man, you lock him down, and you throw away the key. The audacity of these AFC teams thinking they can just swoop in and raid our roster tells you everything you need to know about the perception of our front office. They think we are vulnerable. They think we are asleep at the wheel. And if the Bears don't wake up and get a deal done, we are looking at a defensive regression that could set this team back 3 years. We are talking about a guy who sets the tone, who brings the energy, and who makes stops on third down. You lose that, and you lose the identity of this football team. The general manager needs to stop pinching pennies and start understanding the value of continuity. This is a critical juncture. If he leaves, it sends a message to the locker room that winning isn't the priority. It sends a message that we are a farm system for the rest of the league. I don't want to hear about salary cap flexibility. I want to hear about retaining blue chip talent. This rumor is a fire alarm, and the front office better grab a hose before the whole house burns down.
If you want to stay ahead of every breaking story and refuse to let the media spin the narrative, you need to be part of this community. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Don't miss a single update. While the front office scrambles to retain our current stars, the analytics community is screaming at us to go out and get new ones. Pro Football Focus has released a comprehensive analysis of the Bears roster heading into the 2026 season, and their conclusion is as subtle as a sledgehammer. We need to fix the pass rush, and we need to do it now. PFF has identified an aggressive reinforcement of the defensive edge as the single highest priority for this organization. They are looking at the pressure rates, the win rates against double teams, and the sack conversion metrics, and the data is clear. We are good, but we are not elite. And in this league, good gets you a wildcard exit. Elite gets you a parade. The report suggests that the Bears are exactly one dominant pass rusher away from fielding a top 3 defense in the NFL. Think about the implications of that. We are sitting on a gold mine of potential, but we are missing the detonator. PFF argues that without a second legitimate threat to complement our existing line, opposing offensive coordinators can simply slide protection and neutralize our attack. This is where I lose my patience with the conservative approach. We have been talking about finding value for too long. I don't want value. I want a game wrecker. I want a guy who makes the quarterback wake up in a cold sweat on Saturday night. The Chicago Bears are synonymous with terrifying defense. It is in the DNA of this city. The fact that we are entering another offseason still looking for a premier pass rusher is an indictment on the roster construction. We need to make a splash. I'm talking about a blockbuster trade or a massive free agent signing that shakes the foundations of the NFC North.
You look at the teams playing in late January, they all have closers on the defensive line. We need our closer. This PFF report isn't just a suggestion, it is a blueprint for survival. If we ignore this and try to patch the line with mid-tier veterans and hope for the best, we are disrespecting the fans. The time for half measures is over. Go get a predator on the edge or prepare for another season of watching quarterbacks get comfortable in the pocket.
And just when you thought the pressure couldn't get any higher, we get hit with news that completely changes the calculus for the upcoming draft. We have received confirmation regarding the injury to Ozzie Trapillo, and it is the worst-case scenario. A severe knee injury that will not only sideline him, but has forced the front office to completely scrap their original draft board. The Bears are now frantically searching for substitutes in the middle and late rounds of the 2026 draft to fill the void left by Trapillo. This is a devastating blow to the offensive line depth and a nightmare for our offensive planning. When you lose a talent like Trapillo, you aren't just losing a body, you are losing security. You are losing the assurance that your quarterback is going to stay upright. The ripple effect of this injury is catastrophic. We were supposed to use those draft picks on skill positions or defensive depth, but now we are forced to draft for need, and drafting for need is how you make mistakes. It puts the general manager in a terrible position where he has to reach for players who might not be ready just to plug a hole in the dam. This offensive line was already a question mark, and now it's a flashing red siren. How are we supposed to evaluate our quarterback if he's running for his life because we're relying on a fourth-round rookie to protect his blind side? This is where championships are lost, in the trenches, in the medical tent, in the scramble to replace key guys. The urgency here is off the charts. The scouting department needs to be working overtime, turning over every stone to find a hidden gem, because if they miss on this replacement, the entire offense collapses. It's a domino effect. If the line fails, the run game fails. If the run game fails, the quarterback struggles. If the offense can't stay on the field, that defense we talked about earlier gets worn out. This Ozzie Trapillo injury isn't a footnote. It is a headline that could dictate the success or failure of the entire 2026 season. The margin for error just evaporated. We need a miracle in the draft room, plain and simple.
This is it, Chicago. The storm clouds are gathering. We have rumors threatening to strip our defense of its star power, data proving we are desperate for a pass rush, and an injury that leaves our offensive line exposed. The front office is officially on the clock, and there is no place to hide. I need to know where you stand. Should we go all in and trade for a superstar to fix the pass rush, or do we need to hoard picks to fix the offensive line? Drop your comments below because this debate is just getting started. We are in this together, Bears fans. Bear down.